So guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Now this is really not the style I normally do, but I have kind of some explaining to do about what's going on at the moment with the channel and what is going on mainly to do with my car, because it is not that good. Now if you've been watching the channel recently, you'll know that there's been a loss of BMW 1 Series content. Obviously I've been doing loads of stuff with my dad's, but literally like nothing on my car. And that is because I haven't actually had my car, it's not at home, it's literally in a garage, and it has been for the past sort of month and a half. It's coming up to like 2 months or month and a half now, so yeah, way too long. Now I put out a post on my community page on my channel saying, would you prefer to watch a live stream or an update video, and you all said a video. So I've wrote down kind of everything, like figures and the garages and all that kind of thing on this notepad, just so I don't forget anything. So let's kind of do it in order of where it first started and what actually happened to my car. So I was on the way to my yearly service, so I think it was like the 31st, I can't remember what the date was, but I was on the way to a service. Now for the past sort of few days before this service, I realised that the car was idling a little bit rough. Now I didn't think anything of it because I thought, oh, you know, it isn't too bad and it might just be dodgy fuel, I don't know. But my mum and my dad couldn't tell the difference, but I could because I was like one that actually always drives the car. But I thought, you know what, it's going in for service, it'll be absolutely fine. It's probably just bad oil or it's like an oil filter, I don't know, it could be just something small. So anyway, I was on the way to the service and I literally probably got 250 meters away from my house and it started really chugging. Now I was actually at some traffic lights and all of a sudden, like I was just at the traffic lights and it just started really shaking. It was as if it was like nervous. It was literally shaking like a leaf. It was so bad, it felt and sounded like a tractor. I thought, oh, here we go. Just before the lights turned green, the whole car kind of cut out and it came up with this error that I'm going to put on screen now. It said something along the lines of, you can continue driving at moderate speed, I think it said, and please get this checked by a service. And I was like, how typical is that? I'm literally on the way to a service and this comes up. Like, honestly, you just couldn't make it up. Now I do apologise about any chicken noises there is, because there's a load of chickens up there. Yes, I do keep chickens. I think we have about 15 or 16, something like that, I don't know, but a fair few. So that is what you might be able to hear in the background. So yeah, I was on the way to the service and that came up. Now I had to go get fuel, so I went to the petrol station, filled up, and when I got back in the car, the light disappeared, and I thought, oh, you know, it might have just been it might have just been one of those things that just comes and goes, you know. Anyway, I went to the service and I said to the guys, I was like, it's just kind of gone into limp mode. It's been like the power's just completely dropped. Like, what is going on? And he said it's probably something to do with the spark plugs, which was him kind of saying, yeah, it'll be alright. In the end, 2 months later, it definitely isn't. So anyway, he did the full service and then I collected the car about 4 hours later, 5 hours later. It was just crazy how long they took. And they literally let me leave the garage with the car in such a state. Like, it was shaking, it was really bad, but it was only after about 5 minutes of driving. So the first 5 minutes was absolutely fine, and then it would go into limp mode and start really shaking. And bear in mind, me and my mate were actually going to a pasty shop whilst my service was getting done, and my mate was like, that's your car. And I turned around and about a mile away from the garage, my own car drove past me, which is very, very weird, but I guess they were just testing it for the service. But what I think they were doing is probably testing to see what the issue was, and they knew damn right that the issue was kind of going on. Like, there's no way you could not know that the car was shaking like anything. And bear in mind, the actual garage I went to were BMW specialists. Now it's a company called JMW, it's based in a place called Roach near St Austell, which is fairly close to where I live, so I thought I'd go there because they're a specialist. Anyway, they said, yeah, this car's all fine, you know. And then I mentioned to them, has the shaking gone? They said, yeah, we've put new spark plugs in, seems to be absolutely fine. So anyway, I got home about 5 minutes leaving from the garage, the car goes into limp mode and just is so rough. Ring up my dad and I started saying to him, what do I do? Like, do I ring up the garage again? So I did. I rang up the garage and said, the car is definitely not working. And they said, bring it back, that's absolutely fine, bring it back, we'll have a look. So I took it back, I think the next day, and they had it for about 2 or 3 days, and they tried swapping over, they tried new spark plugs, they tried swapping over the coil pack, and in the end, they said that it was a cylinder 1 misfire. Now that could be anything, it could be spark plugs, it could be injectors, it could be coil packs, it could be wiring looms, it could be anything. There's so many things it could be. So I was like, brilliant. So what I'm gonna do is I said to myself, I said to my dad as well, let's just go get the tune off, because the tune has only been on my car for about 3 weeks and this has happened. So I'm 95% sure that it's probably to do with that, but I don't know 100% sure, and neither does BMW. They're not 100% sure, there's no way of really telling, but it does look like that's the issue. Anyway, so I go get the tune off, and the actual Celtic tuning guys do another diagnostics on the car and said it is cylinder 2 misfiring. So now I'm like, brilliant, so I've got one saying cylinder 1, one saying cylinder 2, what do I do? So I then bring up JMW, and I believe they had it back for the 3rd time. I mean, this was ages ago, I can't really remember fully, but they had it back and essentially said that you definitely take the tune off, and they said definitely take the tune off because it's recommended to do that just because it's probably something to do with that, and they said it looks like it's been over fueling, which is obviously related to a tune really. So the verdict I got from BMW was they didn't want to touch it, they couldn't touch it, they didn't have the tooling for it, and they said it's a BMW specialist job, like you've actually got to give it to BMW. Bear in mind these are BMW specialists, but they said they haven't invested in the tool, so I was like, oh, fair enough. I then went to another garage because I thought I do not want to try BMW because they're going to rob me. It's going to be, honestly, it's going to be daylight robbery. It's going to be awful. So I then go to another garage and they said, yeah, bring it in tomorrow, that's absolutely fine. So I take it in and they said, we can't find out what the issue is, but we can book you in for 10 days time. So I then booked it in for 10 days time. They had the car for about 4 or 5 days and came back and said, yeah, we can't fix it. So this is probably about a month and a bit after like my car going wrong in the first place. Honestly, so many phone calls, so many garages on the phone. Honestly, at this point it's gone to 3 garages essentially, and they said they still can't fix it. So they did some diagnostics, and they said it was low compression in cylinder 1, and they said it is misfiring cylinder 1. So I'm gathering by 2 garages it's saying cylinder 1. I guess it is actually cylinder 1, but something isn't quite right with cylinder 2. So they give me all these graphs and said, yeah, it's low compression after 4 or 5 days of them having the car, and they literally handed me a bill of £298. Bear in mind, they haven't done anything. I was like, I've got to pay 300 quid and you haven't even done anything, and they didn't even know what the issue was, and they said they can't even fix it there. At this point, it's been 4 or 5 weeks, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet. I'm just going to have to go BMW, because they will definitely know what they're doing, I thought. So I rang up BMW, my local one, which is about 40 minutes away from my house, so not that great. And then they said, yeah, bring it down tomorrow. So I did. I brought it down, and that was about 2.5 weeks ago now. And I've been on the phone to them probably about 10 times, had loads of emails, I've asked for a few photos, which I'll show you guys in a second. But essentially, they still don't know what the issue is. They've kind of told me that your engine needs rebuilding, which is better news than I thought, because in the garage that I went to previous to the BMW one, they said it needs a whole new engine. I forgot to say that just a second ago, but yeah, that garage said they needed a whole new engine because it was completely screwed, which I thought was a little bit extreme, but BMW said it needs to be rebuilt. So after loads of testing, they were like, there's no way we can do any more testing, we have to take the engine apart and we have to rebuild it. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna have to do it. And I said, how much will that be? And they said £1,700. So I thought, whoa, that's quite a lot, but at the end of the day, they're doing like a whole engine, they're taking it apart and putting it all back together with new gaskets and stuff like that. It got to the point where it was like a month, like 6 weeks at this point. I was like, just whatever it costs, I want it fixed. Anyway, so at this point, BMW, as I said, still don't know what the issue is. They said they had to take it apart, so they have done. That 2 days later, they call me up and say, we still don't know what the issue is, even though the engine is basically fully apart. Now this currently is what the engine looks like at the minute. Yep, it's completely apart. So about a few days later, as I said, once they've taken all the engine apart, they rung me up again and said we're going to have to send off your cylinder head to another company. Now this is kind of where it's at the minute. So my cylinder head is actually gone and been shipped over to another company, fairly local apparently. So apparently they're pretty quick. So hopefully I'll get some sort of results in a few days' time. But apparently they've got to test the cylinder head, and if it's that's the issue, then they kind of can narrow it down and fix it. But if it's not that, then we're kind of back to square one. But I said, how much is it looking to be to actually fix my car? And they said £3,000. Yeah, and when they said that, I was like, holy sh**. I did not expect it to be so expensive. So they said about £3,000. Now that is kind of that's an estimate, because they still don't know what the issue is, but they said by the looks of it, it's probably going to be around £3,000 mark. Even to this day, about 7-8 weeks on, whatever it is, I still do not know what the issue is, and I've been given a sum of £3,000. But luckily, out of all the garage it's been to, I haven't had to pay anything apart from my service. So I paid for my full service, which was £329.56. So yeah, that was a bit of a waste, because they kind of had the car apart and they've drained all the oil as part of the testing. So yeah, bit of a waste. So yeah, not great. Now I'm sure there's bits on there that I've kind of missed out, because it is absolutely freezing and it's about to go dark. So I'm trying to get this video done, and it looks like it's about to rain. So that's another thing that's absolutely brilliant. An overall summary, I still don't know what the issue is. I'm hoping to get the car back soon. It's looking around £3,000, and there's probably a few more bits that I've missed, but I wanted to record some phone calls and stuff like that to kind of get you to hear them actually say it, but yeah, they said that it looks like it could be something to do with the injectors, but they don't. They think that's the root cause of it, but they also think if they replace that, that isn't going to fix it. But anyway, I will keep you guys updated in another video. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. It was a very quick video, but it's just kind of giving you an idea of what's going on at the minute. I've had really bad luck recently, like really bad luck. I've never had this bad luck in all my life, and it's kind of hitting me a little bit, but I know I'll get through it. And yeah, it's not been great, especially Christmas coming up. Obviously, I'm using all my money for my car, because I don't want to be absolute skint, so I'm just kind of saving my money at the minute and not getting Christmas presents. But anyway, that's another story. Yeah, it's not been great, and this video hasn't been great, but you guys wanted to see an update video. I'm hoping, I'm pretty sure I've gone through everything on my kind of list here, but yeah, very weird kind of what's happened, because it was just weird seeing them try. They drove my car, the first garage, they kind of didn't, they act like they didn't want to fix it. They were good customer service, kind of, but it was a bit like, I don't know, they just didn't, almost like they just didn't want to touch the car. Then the Celtic tuning guys were really good. They took off the tune absolutely fine, didn't charge me for it, which was really nice, and also spent an hour doing diagnostics as well, which I didn't ask them to do, so that's not too bad. But yeah, I'm kind of clueless, and obviously I've not been with a car for 8 weeks, which would be okay if I didn't do YouTube videos, but because I do YouTube videos, it's limiting my content, and I can tell by the views. My dad's series on his car is doing well, but nowhere near as good as my car, and I literally have modifications ready to go on my car and detailing products to try and all those things, but I just can't use it because obviously I haven't got the car. There's another thing actually I must also mention. I've just forgot. When I drove from different garages and stuff like that, my car was actually smoking, so it was actually pushing out loads of white smoke. So yeah, that isn't very good. And also, it seems to be, BMW has said that it seems to be draining an awful lot of oil, because it only got serviced like 4 weeks before they had it, and it's not been driving, and it's literally went through half a sump worth of oil, which is a fair few litres, which is really not good, considering I've not even gone 100 miles in the car. So yeah, something definitely isn't right. Looking like it's probably something to do with the tune. That's what all the garages are saying anyway. So yeah. So yeah, I will try my best to kind of keep you updated in this kind of situation. There's a lot more information I've been told, but quite frankly, I can't remember what they said now, because there's so many things I've been told by like 1,500 garages, and it's just I just got to the point where I'm like, just give me the price and fix it. Like, I just want it done, so then I can get on making videos and all that kind of thing. And do you know what's really annoying? I would have had my BMW M140i literally around now if I didn't have to pay for my car, or if I actually had a car that didn't break. So, but yeah, there we have it. Hopefully I've gone over everything. If I haven't, I'll leave a comment in the description down below, or the comment section, sorry, down below, with kind of all the added extras that I forgot, because I'm sure when I edit this I would have forgot something. But anyway, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please leave a like rating. All your support does really make a difference, and I'm glad you guys are staying with me throughout this journey. There's a lot of you people worried about my car and give me, you know, all good luck and all that kind of thing, which is really nice. I do really appreciate that. But anyway, I shall catch you guys very shortly on a brand new video. Hopefully some more positivity will come soon, hopefully.